Okay, one of the things that people want to know about, because this is one of the requirements of the process, is the GMAT. And there's a lot of information and honestly misinformation out there. And the truth is that a lot of people don't really prepare you properly to even enter the process. The GMAT is a very interesting examination. Now, what a lot of people think is that it tests math and English. And in a way it's true, but in a way that's not really what it's testing. What it's testing is your ability to reason using the language of math and using English. But here's the funny thing. The funny thing is, if you get good training, and this has happened quite a bit, many of our international students who are absolutely not English speakers end up getting a much higher score than somebody who's a native English speaker. In general, when you are preparing for the GMAT, of course you can hear stories, oh, I took the GMAT in a week and I did a great score. Very, very unusual. GMAT is something that I've been involved with for over 20 years. I did it myself when I did my MBA. I was present when it was going from paper form to computer form, so I followed the entire evolution of this exam since the last century, excuse me. I'm an old guy. So what you really want to do is you want to have the right mind frame, and you want to prepare the time, because what most people do is they underestimate the GMAT preparation part. And you have to imagine to yourself that if GMAT was easy and if anybody could study for it and take it quickly, it would not be valid. GMAT is not an exam for everybody. It's an exam for people and for executives who want to go to MBA programs and executive MBA programs, which means this exam is for individuals who have already graduated, who already finished their undergraduate or Bac +4 if you're in France. Many of these people have master's degrees in other disciplines, and some of these people are even more educated than that. And yet, at the same time, as intelligent as they are, what they find is that the preparation that they get is not consistent with what the GMAT tests. Because the way that you've learned to do things in school and the way that you've been tested in school is really not necessarily the way that you're going to be tested on the GMAT. It is also false to say that one nationality has an advantage over another. It is extremely false. The reason why it's false is because when you look at the statistics that we have, and now we work mostly with international people, we work with people from all over the world, they not only have an advantage because we teach them to think differently, they end up getting into the top 10%. So GMAT is something that you should take very seriously. You should prepare well, and you should not try to study for it the way that you have studied in school, nor the way that you have done things that have led to your previous successes. So to finish the story, motivation is important, but it's also important to get the type of right coaching that sets your mentality. So GMAT is not about doing a lot of questions and trying to find the answer. There's something else that happens. There are certain skills that are being tested which less experienced teachers, and I know because it all used to be my job to train teachers and to examine how different people teach and to do market research on GMAT preparation materials. They teach you on the surface level, and it's not the surface level that's going to lead to results. What's going to lead to results is an intuitive, a smart preparation, and you do not have to be a genius. Just like there are people who are engineers who graduate from the Grandes Écoles or from the top engineering schools, and all of a sudden they say, oh my gosh, something weird is happening on the math. Just like there are people who may have majored in English, and all of a sudden they do the English section and they say, oh my gosh, something is happening here that I don't understand. So there's a different mentality. It's teachable, but the best thing that you can do is make sure that you plan GMAT in your preparation, and good preparation to reach the top percentile, because you have to remember who this exam is for. It's not for the general population. Takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And as you train for it, you should not think of it as an obligation or something that you have to do or something that's difficult or something that you have to get over. It's already the beginning of your MBA. And if you do it well, you can make that challenge enjoyable and at the same time learn skills that on the surface level, when you read most of the books or take most of the classes that are taught out there, are not really addressed. And that's what we do, and that's one of the reasons why we have such great success and why we support people. And that support is not just being a teacher, it's being a real coach, because you are training for performance. So very often we don't even refer to it as an exam, we refer to it as a performance. And we train people like champions who are going to go and win the gold in the Olympics.